All right, let's talk about starting a new job. That first day can feel like you've just been dropped into a whole new world, right? Well, think of us as your personal guide. We're going to break down the corporate world, the people, the places, even the language they use, so you can walk in on your first day feeling like you've been there for weeks. Let's dive in.
Seriously, it really can feel like you need a map, can it? You've got all these new faces, weird unwritten rules, and you probably don't even know where the good coffee is. But don't you worry. This is your cheat sheet. We're going to demystify this whole office landscape so you can navigate that first day like a total pro. So, first things first, let's meet the core team. These are the folks you'll probably be seeing and talking to every single day. Look, knowing who does what, that's the absolute first step to figuring out how the whole puzzle fits together.
And your first point of contact is almost always the receptionist. Now, they're way more than just the person at the front desk. They're kind of like the central hub of the entire office. Quick pro tip for your first day, be extra nice to them. They usually know everything about how the office really works. Trust me.
Okay, next up, let's follow the money trail to the accounts assistant. This is the person who lives in the world of numbers, dealing with all the invoices and payments. You might not see them every day, but, they're the ones who make sure you get paid. So yeah, they're pretty important. So who's out there actually bringing in the cash? That would be the sales representative. These are the people who are the face and voice of the company to the outside world. They build relationships with customers and are really the engine that drives the company's growth.
We have all been there, that heart-stopping moment when your computer just dies right before a huge deadline. Who do you call? IT support. These are the digital superheroes of the office, swooping in to solve tech problems and basically keeping the whole operation from screeching to a halt.
And the one person who keeps the entire office from just descending into total chaos, that's your office manager. They are the masters of logistics. We're talking everything from making sure there's paper in the printer to planning company events. If you have a question about how the office itself works, they're your go-to. Okay, so you've met the cast of characters. Now let's go explore this stage. Getting a handle on the physical layout of your new workspace is just so crucial for feeling comfortable and, actually getting stuff done right from day one.
Every office is really a mix of different zones, right? You've got your personal space, your desk, your chair, that's your home base. Then you have the shared stuff, like printers. Meeting rooms are for more formal work, but honestly, it's the social spots, like the kitchen or cafeteria, where a lot of the informal connections and sometimes the best ideas really happen. All right, you've met the team. You know where the coffee is, which is critical, but what's the bigger picture here? How do all these people and all these places actually connect to become a real company? Let's zoom out a little bit. To really get the office, you have to see the view from the top. And by that, I mean the company structure, all the different departments and the hierarchy that basically decides how work gets done and who reports to whom. Just think of a company as a bunch of specialized teams, each with its own mission. You've got HR, which is all about the people. Finance, they guard the money. Marketing tells the company's story. IT keeps all the tech humming along, and logistics figures out how to get things from A to B. They're all working together to hit the company's main goals. Now, this is how it all stacks up. You start with the teams doing the day-to-day work. Those teams are led by managers. The managers then report up to the department heads. And right at the very top, you have what's called the C-suite, the chief executives who are steering the entire ship. At the very, very peak of that pyramid is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. This person is the captain of the ship. They're the ones setting the overall vision, the ultimate destination, and making those huge decisions that shape the company's future. Then you've got this CFO, or Chief Financial Officer. They are the company's top financial strategist. They manage all the money, everything from big budgets to investments. Their whole mission is to keep the company financially strong and healthy. And then there's the COO, the Chief Operating Officer. Look, if the CEO decides what to do and why, the COO is all about how it gets done. They are the master architect of the company's daily operations, making sure all the moving parts work together as efficiently as possible. So, we've covered the people, the places, and the structure. Now for something a little different, the actual language of the office. Because the words we use can say a lot about our role, from simple, everyday tasks to high-level strategic thinking. And this slide just illustrates that perfectly. On one side, you've got your everyday actions, things like call, print, help.
Pretty straightforward. But on the other side, you see the leadership words: oversee, manage, coordinate. The verbs themselves tell you the scope of the job. It's a really interesting difference. Okay, but beyond just action words, how we talk to each other is huge. A professional environment usually calls for a slightly more formal, more polite way of communicating, especially when you're the new person asking for help. So, how do you do that? I mean, you could just ask directly, right? Where is the meeting room? It gets the point across, it's clear, but in an office setting, we can definitely polish that up a bit. And here's the super simple trick. Just by turning it into an indirect question, could you tell me where the meeting room is? The whole tone changes. It's instantly more formal, more polite. It's just a tiny little language tweak that shows a whole lot of professional savvy. Wow, we have covered a lot of ground here. The people, the places, the whole corporate structure, even the way people talk. So let's bring it all together and figure out what this all means for you. Because at the end of the day, an office isn't just a building with desks in it. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. Everything is connected. The people and the roles, the physical space they share, and the way they all communicate and interact. Understanding that system is the real key to success. And that brings us right back to you. You've seen the map, you've met the players, you get the basic rules of the game. So the final question really is, now that you understand the ecosystem, how are you going to find your place in it? What role will you play to make your first day and every day after that a massive success?